Alright, Shalom. Like you say, all praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to all you brothers teaching the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, underneath the standard and the banner of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Alright, I got a short video, 6 minutes and 3 seconds long, and it's from the Vox Network on Quidib, okay, and just have some very interesting information. All right, I'm gonna let it play, and then I'm gonna give a short commentary, and then bring out a few scriptures on it, and then take it from there. All right. Shalom.
Cities and states around the country are reporting fewer and fewer cases. But experts say we're a long way from declaring victory.
Now is the time, whenever you're having an effect, not to take your foot off the accelerator.
And we'll soon be entering a critical phase, containment. Here's the thing. Effective containment might involve something Americans tend not to like: surveillance. It's a concept that some worry could infringe on our privacy and other basic rights.
This is a very difficult time, but we also have to make sure that we maintain these other high values in our society, and privacy is one of them.
So, do we have to choose between containing the virus and our privacy? I'm Cleo Abram, and this is Answered by Vox.
We look back on this period, we'll see okay, April was the month when the outbreak basically came to a standstill and began to recede.
That's Farzad Mostashari, who's worked in public health for over 25 years and co-authored a plan to help get us back to normal.
The first phase is containment, meaning you're trying to keep it out. If there's a single case, then we're going to find out if they have a travel history or who they were exposed to, and we're going to do contact tracing around that person.
This is what countries like South Korea and Germany did very effectively. But that involved forcibly monitoring people through surveillance camera footage, phone location data, and credit card purchases. Countries like the United States and the UK haven't taken those steps yet.
At some point, the number of cases multiplies, you can no longer keep up with it. It's past containment phase. We go into mitigation, meaning let's just try to limit the damage here. Let's try to suppress this thing spread by having just fewer contacts in society between people.
This is what Mostashari says is working right now.
Then hopefully there's a third phase where we're okay, now that we've suppressed this thing, now we can relax a little bit on this stuff and then reclaim containment.
But reclaiming containment will likely involve a dramatic expansion of surveillance. Do we already have the types of technology we need to create a national surveillance system in the US?
We do. We just have to put the pieces together and have more transparency around it.
And that's the problem. Containment might require what critics say are pretty invasive measures, including tracking cell phone location data and, in some extreme circumstances, drone surveillance footage.
This is technology you could soon see hovering above a city near you. Pandemic drones.
COVID-19, this park is currently closed.
As we move into containment, a handful of public and private plans to ramp up surveillance are already coming forward. Google and Apple are partnering on a Bluetooth-based app that will tell you if you've come close to someone who has been infected. Extremely useful information for contact tracing. The apps in development in the US are opt-in, meaning you have a choice whether or not to use it. The data will be stored locally on your phone and not linked to your personal information. But that data would have to be shared with government agencies if the app is to effectively aid containment efforts. The Chinese government is using a similar app for its containment drive, but that's mandatory. White House advisor Jared Kushner's COVID response team is reportedly looking into a national surveillance system with the help of health technology companies. There aren't a lot of details, and the White House has denied knowledge of the plan, but it's already raised some alarm bells. The thing is, forcible monitoring is how experts say South Korea controlled the early outbreak. But Mostashari says surveillance doesn't have to mean that we monitor everyone's personal data through phones or other technologies.
In the public health sense, surveillance doesn't mean some creepy, police presence watching over your every movement. It just means keeping track of what's going on with the disease in society. What I do think we should do is traditional public health surveillance, right? We should, when people are test positive, someone from the health department should be able to give them a call and be like, hey, you know, you're positive. What do you need to be able to stay inside for 14 days? That's what we should be doing at scale.
China did it successfully in Wuhan, but it required a lot of money and a lot of manpower.
People are like, oh, we can never do what Wuhan did. They had 9,000 people doing contact tracing. You know how many unemployed people there are right now? Like, why can't we have 9,000 people contact tracing? Like, we could shut down the entire economy, but we can't hire 9,000 people. Like, why?
Massachusetts has already deployed 1,000 people to make calls, and other states are thinking about ramping up their efforts. This week, Mostashari co-signed a letter with a bipartisan group of public health experts calling on Congress to hire 180,000 contact tracers across the country. Mostashari is less worried about privacy with respect to the tech solutions like the Apple-Google approach to contact tracing, and more worried about whether or not those approaches will actually help us get back to containment.
Let's say 20% of people download the app and it's constantly chirping, it's eating up their battery, and then they meet 5 people during the day. The chance of any of them having it is 20%. So now you got 20% times 20%. 4% of the cases are identified that way. Look, there's a tension between a lot of our desires, right? We want security, but we also want liberty. But if you're giving up potentially liberty for no gain in security, then that's an easy call.
So, do we have to choose between our right to privacy and containing this virus? Even though South Korea's approach to surveillance was very effective, we're unlikely to see it in the US anytime soon. But experts like Mostashari say we can avoid it anyway if we commit an unprecedented number of people to virus. Hopefully, it'll be enough.
So as you've seen in the short video, what their plans are, all right? You know, it broke it down step by step, and this is a major part of the beast system. And what are they doing? They're using this COVID-19, which the acronym for that is Certificate of Vaccination 19, because this is that was the final year that they had to make a judgment on it, all right, so to speak, to have everybody cataloged in their whereabouts. You know, let me get that video real quick, Salaki. So I'm going to play this video in short, you know, to further prove the point that this idea, which is this tracking system forcibly being imposed on people, is for the beast network, more so, or more or less, rather than tracking a goddamn fictitious virus, which I'm not saying that it's fake, but you know, to the magnitude that they're pushing for, it's definitely a move on people personal, you know, freedoms, you know, so to speak.
Our constitutional journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
Okay, so there you heard it. All right. So going back to the Vox video, all right. Like like it said, okay. What they're gonna do is they're gonna put certain agencies, okay, out there to to follow the whereabouts of said people that's infected, which we know that ultimately is going to lead to the RFID microchip system. All right, they're just using this as a ploy to move that system to use. Okay, like the guy in the video said, he said all the pieces of here just needs to be, you know, put together, all right, so to speak. And that's what you see various workmen doing around the clock now, that such places, you know, not quarantined, but I say they stay at home measure is in place. You have the 5G network being hooked up as we speak, you know, and it's all leading to the beast system, okay, having a watch upon you and over you, okay. So I'm bringing out this quick precept, all right, and I'm gonna close it on down, man, because it's not much to say, man. You know, the time of the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgins are here, you know, and men that have oil or have the eye salve, they can see, but the people that don't have it, man, they're gonna be like sheep led to slaughter, man. Okay, and like it says in Hosea 4, and I believe the third verse. Okay, our people are killed for a lack of knowledge, and this is you know, just not the Israelites, okay, because that's who we mainly do these videos for, the Israelites, but these heathen nations as well that live on the shores of Babylon the Great. All right, so I'm gonna read this quick precept and then I'm gonna close it on out, man. All right, this is Jeremiah 5 and 6. All right, it says, wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. Everyone that goeth out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased. Okay, so as you can see, it's 3 different various beasts. Okay, and these beasts appertain to these different branches of, you know, state, local, and federal. All right, branches of how can I say it, troops, so to speak. All right, when the leopard shall watch over their cities is that last that last beast. All right, so the leopard is you know, the local standpoint, or, you know, the part of the beast system that's going to be watching from cameras, you know, them drones, so to speak, off of these phone apps that they're talking about putting into play. And ultimately, the whole thing is going to go back to the beast system, which is the RFID microchip and the 5G network. Okay, because once you get that implemented in you, that RFID microchip, you're pretty much done, man. Okay, you're going to be torn in pieces in more than one way. Okay, and ultimately, Revelations the 14th chapter, you know, anybody that take part of the beast system, they're going to be hit with the indignation of the Lord, which is those nuclear missiles. All right, but up until that point, you know, you're going to be subjected to, you know, being followed, being noticed in places where you're not supposed to be, no privacy, so to speak. All right, and that's what that whole Vox video was about. But they're doing they're playing it off on the COVID-19 situation, which, like I said, is an acronym for certification of vaccination 2019, which was last year, because this thing didn't get really rolling until the end of last year, the last 3 months of last year. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that out real quick. So with that, I want to say all praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. With that, I want to say Shalom.